The NBA's 2023 All-Star rosters included 6 first-time selections. 3 of those selections, Anthony Edwards, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Tyrese Haliburton, were among the popular preseason picks to receive their inaugural All-Star invite. As for the other 3, De'Aaron Fox, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Lauri Markkanen, their surges this season were not nearly as anticipated. With those half-dozen players' initial All-Star game now in the rearview mirror, I found myself wondering, who's got next? Who are going to be the first-time All-Stars next season? As for my answer to that question, well, it includes 14 players spread across 4 different tiers, where Tier 1 represents those most likely to make the All-Star game, and Tier 4 represents those least likely to make the All-Star game. So, beginning with Tier 4, which includes 5 of the 14 players, we have the Memphis Grizzlies' Desmond Bane. In this, his 3rd NBA season, Bane is having career-best per-game averages of 21.5 points, 4.9 rebounds, and 4.2 assists. The yoked sharpshooter is making 42.7% of his just over 7 attempts from downtown per game. After Bane is the reigning Rookie of the Year, Scottie Barnes. So far, Barnes' sophomore season has been a bit of a disappointment. Compared to last year, his scoring is up only 0.3 points per game, while his true shooting percentage is more than 2% lower. The seemingly simplest way for the 30.1% three-point shooter to ascend to an all-star level is by improving his long-range game. Somewhat of a similar situation for the next member of Tier 4, Jalen Green. While many of the Rockets' guard stats have increased this year, that's because of an uptick in usage, not an uptick in efficiency. Green is shooting 40.9% from the floor and making only 33.3% of his over 8 three-point attempts per game. Certainly not all-star worthy numbers. Next up is Tyrese Maxey. After starting in 74 of his 75 appearances last season, the 76ers' DeAnthony Melton addition has seen Maxey move to a bench role this season. Despite the change, the 22-year-old out of Kentucky is still registering nearly 20 points per game. Kudos to him for accepting the move and doing what's best for the team. Following Maxey is Chet Holmgren. After some electric Summer League performances, Holmgren suffered a season-long foot injury at the end of August. As a result, the Skinny Unicorns rookie campaign is set to take place next year. Alright, moving on to the 4 players in Tier 3. First up is rookie Bennedict Mathurin. Through the Pacers' first 60 games of the season, the Arizona alum has come off of the bench in all but 6 of them, and despite playing just over 28 minutes per game, Mathurin is still averaging 17.2 points. Buckets. Following Mathurin is Evan Mobley. The Donovan Mitchell addition has seemingly prevented Mobley from making major statistical gains this season, but still, last year's Rookie of the Year runner-up has been very efficient on offense and actually leads the league in defensive win shares. After Evan Mobley is the youngest center in NBA history to record a triple-double, Alperen Sengun. Unlike his earlier mentioned teammate Jalen Green, Sengun has made massive strides during his sophomore season. In 13 January performances, the Turkish big man averaged 18.3 points per game on 62.4% shooting. He also chipped in 9.5 rebounds and 6.2 assists. Next is Orlando's Franz Wagner. If the Magic had selected Chet Holmgren or Jabari Smith Jr. instead of Paolo Banchero, I'm not sure Wagner wouldn't have made the 2023 All-Star game. The Michigan alum is seemingly set to play Robin, while Banchero holds down the Batman title for the foreseeable future. Alright, Tier 2 time. 3 of the 14 potential first-time All-Stars fell into this category. They are Jalen Brunson. During his first 56 games as a New York Knickerbocker, the herky-jerky point guard averaged 23.9 points on 48.5% from the floor and 41.1% from downtown. While his teammate Julius Randle made this year's All-Star game, Brunson did not and was considered by many to be snubbed out of a selection. Moving on to the Detroit Pistons' Cade Cunningham. During his first 8 games of the 2022-23 season, Cunningham averaged 23.1 points, 6.1 rebounds, and 6.8 assists. Unfortunately, he'd only play 4 more games before suffering a shin injury. a shin injury that will keep the first overall pick in the 2021 draft out until the beginning of next year. After Cade Cunningham is Victor Wembanyama. Since 1985, only 10 rookies have made the All-Star game. The last player to do it was Blake Griffin. I like the odds that the next player to do it is Wembanyama. On to the final two players in Tier 1. First up is the earlier mentioned Paolo Banchero. The presumed runaway Rookie of the Year winner is averaging just under 20 points, 6.6 rebounds, and 3.6 assists per game. Seems pretty safe to say that the 6'10", 250-pound 20-year-old is going to stack All-Star selections during his NBA career. The player joining Banchero in Tier 1 is the former Phoenix Sun, Mikal Bridges. In his third game as a member of the Nets, Bridges dropped a career-high 45 points on an extremely efficient 17 for 24 from the floor. After being the fourth offensive option in Phoenix, it appears that the lockdown defender is going to be the main offensive option in Brooklyn. So there you have it, 14 players across 4 different tiers. Let me know in the comments whether you think I got it right or wrong, and thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to smash that like button.